Alright folks, this is part 2, resuming where we left off on the end of part 1. Part 2 of the, whatever it's called, you'd think I'd know what it's called. I'm the author of these videos, it's a lap around the lake or whatever. Part 2 of 3. Here we're coming up to the spot where I talked to someone here. I'm actually going to show you the real muffled GoPro audio of this because you can hear it kinda. So I have an interaction with someone here, and since it's audible, I figured I'd put the actual interaction. I think it's coming up here.
Hey. Alright, a little cold out here, but we'll make it work. Yeah, I wouldn't go in the water today.
That's the second of 4 individuals that I talked to on that day pedaling around the lake. As I said in the part 1 of this famous Pedal Around the Lake trilogy, when I talked to someone else who you couldn't hear, but I basically said what transpired in the short interaction. I'm kind of making more of a point to try to put on a fake facade in the sense of when I'm out, especially when I'm out around the lake and doing what I love around the trail or whatever, just to be more, I don't know, approachable and actually approaching people, or maybe not approaching people, but at least, if you happen by people, I'm trying to, instead of just being like, a zombie, no expression, walk past or paddle past, what I'm trying to do this spring is actually being like, you know what, the person isn't necessarily, you just try to get all those thoughts, negative thoughts that happen for so many of us people that potentially may suffer with, some form of anxiety of the social type, and just say, you know what, they're just a person, they piss and shit, I piss and shit, we've got that in common if nothing else. It's not gonna kill me to talk to them. Oh, right there I'm looking at, there's a goose right on the shore who is exhibiting the signs, which I don't think you'd be able to really see in this video, which is exhibiting the signs of sitting on eggs. And I was like, geez, this video was recorded on Saturday, April 4th, 2015, and I didn't think a goose would be on eggs yet, especially why would you do it right by the shore? But it was definitely exhibiting that kind of, low slouched neck thing, and with, just not wanting to move from the spot, sitting on eggs thing. And I was like, holy cow, that goose, it must, if it's sitting on eggs, it sure got a head start, because that's pretty early in my experience. So what I was going to say way back when this video started is, if you watched this part of the lake, may be familiar if you watched previously the Let's Tour the Lake video that I uploaded a while back, because in that, it's kind of ironic because this video pretty much starts at the exact same point that video started, with it wasn't aiming right back at me, it was just a camera, like a shot of the shore as I paddled past, which was kind of a cool video as well. But the majority of this video is just retracing that same, the same, whatever you want to call it, the same path of, here's my third conquest. Not a conquest, but there was this kid who seemed very introverted. He was probably like 12 or 11 or something, who was fishing, and I was like, hey, and he didn't, whatever, he didn't respond necessarily like he wanted to tell me his life story. So I'm like, catch anything? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, cool. I just left it at that. But again, there he is. It's just me making an effort, and it's something that I normally, it's normally what I wouldn't do, and actually talking to people. And I figure, my theory is, the more I do it and, poke my head out of my proverbial shell, the more, in theory, the more the more normal, you know, because right now it's abnormal for me to, you know, be the first one if I come across someone to say, you know, hey, or what's up, or whatever. And I figure the more I do it, the less, you know, the more normal it will become for me, and the less of a abnormal thing it will be. So I'm recording this commentary on, I believe, the April 8th, 2015, and I can't remember the last. It's been gray and cold. Like right now, it's like 47 or something, 45. It's been gray and cold probably since this day, the 4th. I can't remember the last time it was sunny. Maybe it was Wednesday or Thursday. But you know, although you know, I guess you can't complain too much in spring because there's no snow and it's above freezing and stuff. But I don't know. I guess when it's when you get those amazing, beautiful, nothing but sun days and it's warm, and like I say, I think last Wednesday was up to 80 or something when I did that bike, the last two parts of the famous biking trilogy, Biking on a Beautiful Spring Day. It was like, it got up to I think 80 or high 70s, and it's just like when you get those, like, you know, paradise days, and then it's, you know, you get them swiped away from you. You get taste of heaven, as it were, and you get them taken away from you. It's just like, oh, mama, you know, whatever the hell that was. But it's, you get what I'm saying. It's just, give me, you know, as far as, give me the weather back, give me. But the forecast says like 41 for tomorrow for the high, and after that, with any luck, Friday it'll be in the 50s, and I think it's pretty much every day in the 60s after that in the 10-day forecast. So hopefully today and tomorrow are the last, you know, highs in the 40s, or at least, yeah. But like I said, if you watch the Let's Tour the Lake video, this is, like I said, right here where I'm doing the same stuff, but I figured, I don't know, I'm just kind of anal and OCD and stuff, and I'm like, well, it's a different angle and it's a different shot, and you know, it's not just the same shot of the shore over and over again. It's a different kind of a perspective, so I thought, well, you guys might not be too picky, and you know, I wanted to show a whole lap, so I'm like, you know, I mean, obviously you guys have a choice whether to watch it or not, so I figured, at the risk of treading familiar water, as it were, or whatever, as far as, you know, repeating, I tried to go really close by them branches, so they're just, I do that again with some other branches. It'll show up in part 3, and try to be like super, go close by, and so they're like, whoa. But here I stay a little further out and don't get grounded up on the ground, as I did in the Let's Tour the Lake video around this spot. And this is around the area where that little, whatever the hell kind of bird it was taking a birdie bath that I captured on video, which was splendid. Don't really know what the hell to say other than, like I say, I mean, ever since Saturday or Friday, this is the weather that you see in this particular video is how it's been, just gray, and got some rain yesterday. Rain's fine, I mean, obviously, because I like rain, and obviously in April, the April showers help to bring those May flowers. So that's something I made up just now. Not really, but the end, you know, we're going to end this video with actually me treading into non-familiar territory. That dock is a little, it seemed really high there at the end, didn't it? It's kind of a little, oh, right there is back where on the back at that area that I just passed over there is where the ice was in the Let's Tour the Lake video, which didn't last long, luckily. But we're going to end this video with me paddling into uncharted waters, and meaning, I'll tell you, this is pretty much coming right here is probably where right when we come around this little peninsula is where I stopped, where the Let's Tour the Lake video stopped, and I kind of just did a 360 degree just turn around just to show you the lake and stuff. So now we are treading into unseen lakeshore for you guys who have seen the Let's Tour the Lake video, and the rest of this video and obviously all of part 3 will be stuff you haven't seen before, unless of course you've been on this lake. And like I say, don't really know too much what to say if you haven't, for some reason, if you haven't watched part 1 of this trilogy, which is called something like, I don't know what it's called. I should have, whatever, you can just look right at the title and see what it's called. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, it was like 50 degrees this day, and this it just sounded like this day on the, yeah, okay. Where? Oh, okay, I see. I know where I am. It was 50 degrees, and when I left, or when I was, contemplating going to the lake that day, it was like intermittent sun, and there was clouds and sun would come out and go, and it's like, right when I pull up to the lake, it's just like complete total cloud cover. And I'm like, I explained this already, that in part 1 of this lap around the lake trilogy, that since I was there and everything like that, I'm not going to just turn around and haul tail home. So especially when, one of the positive factors of the day was, not too much wind, so you're going to take advantage of the, I don't know what oh yeah, there was some guy in a motorboat on this day, and even day prior, who would just go out into the middle of the lake and just like have his engine in neutral and just like, I don't know, I'm assuming there's some practical reason for him doing that, as far as like trying to do something, I don't know, with trying to tune it or something, I don't know, but she's just like, alright. I mean, it's the second day I seen him out there doing it. It's just like, okay. So that part we just passed back there was a part where ducks and geese and stuff hang out, because it's just like this wooded part of lakeshore in between a couple people's properties, and it's got all these like trees that are, like, I don't know, all these branches that are coming out like 10, 12, 15 feet out, over the water. And it's kind of a cool area that I kind of hang out in sometimes and whatever. And if the wind's blowing out of the other direction, it's like some safe haven if it's blowing from the right way. And just kind of cool. You don't really like to chill out, or I don't really like to chill out too much right in front of someone's, I think there's some dog there. Can we see it? No, we can't. I think some big dog, like some frickin' greyhound. Maybe it didn't come down that day. It came down, I don't know. Comes down to the shore and just checks me out or whatever. But I don't know what the hell I was saying before the dog. The dog thing popped up. But coming kind of close to the end, sort of, I guess, as I look on this running time on the computer. Yeah, we're wrapping up. So I guess I didn't have I'm just kind of in a, I don't know, I didn't have too terribly much to say this time out. Part 2 here, I'm just kind of in a little less of an excited mood, just because I haven't seen any sun for days, and it's just like 40s, 40s, 40s. Not complaining, of course, because at least it's 40 degrees above zero, so, 30 degrees above 10 degrees Fahrenheit, so I'm not complaining, I'm just complaining. So this concludes part 2, and as we conclude part 2, you will see me, kind of my hand is, I'm going a little more hardcore just to get, to lessen the running time. And as we close with part 2 of the trilogy of A Lap Around the Lake, you'll see my hand hurting, and but like a stud muffin, I keep on going. So thank you very much for watching part 2, and I'll catch you on part 3. Ow! Ah! Ah!